What's going on? Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about Atlanta United. We're going to go deep into the work that they've done so far in this transfer window, which includes signing center back Stian Gregersen, free agent center mid Dax McCarty, free agent goalkeeper Josh Cohen, and more, and getting rid of some deadwood that they needed to move on from, as well as the latest news on their pursuit for a Polish international defensive midfielder. All right, let's start with the latest news. Sources told me that Atlanta United had agreed a $3.5 million fee with Legia Warsaw for Bartosz Slisz. Oh, I practiced that. Bartosz Slisz. Atlanta agreed a fee for Bartosz Slisz. Sources told me the deal wasn't done as of yesterday in terms of reporting it out. There's still, last steps and finalizing to do. But a little Twitter reporting. His father is going on Twitter liking every single Atlanta United Bartosz Slisz tweet that there is. And I know that they've been in the market for a number 6, so I'm expecting this one to get done eventually. But again, at time of recording, it's not done. Let me bring up his FB ref page, and I'll start by saying that this isn't the best representation probably of the player, because FB ref doesn't do these stats for the Polish league. But in about 462 minutes in the Europa Conference League, which is obviously a good competition, he rated very well in defensive metrics. He wasn't doing much in the attack, as you can see, compared with other midfielders, but that's the whole point. His whole point is to come to Atlanta, to be a destroyer, to be, a bodyguard for Tristan Miyomba, who can defend and play in transition as well as himself. But Tristan Miyomba will be more of kind of the ball progressor and more of the 8, and Bartosz Slisz would be the number 6. Another player that I know that they were interested in was Luis Travis of Blackburn. That was a player who I know that there was some MLS options or some interest, and Atlanta was the team that I was told that were considering a deal. I don't know how serious any of that got, but Luis Travis ended up accepting a loan to Ipswich, so he's staying in England, but it's kind of the same profile. He's just like Slisz in terms of he's a destroyer, hard worker, ground cover, all of that. That was the profile that this club really needed. They did a ton of great work over the last year since Garth Lagerwey got here in terms of cleaning up their cap space, in terms of finding players that fit rather than just a collection of talent. Like Thiago Almada fits so much better with Jean De Silva, Lobojanice, and Giacomakis than previous iterations of high-priced players that they put around Thiago Almada. So this team is really well set as is. Again, as I've reported before, Stian Gregersen, that deal, again, last I checked was getting done a few days ago. I'm surprised it hasn't been announced yet. Maybe in the time between me recording this video and this video coming out that it will be announced, but I'm expecting an announcement at some point very soon. Stian Gregersen is the Miles Robinson replacement. They're paying $2 million transfer fee for this player. Orlando City were very interested in him as well. I've heard good things from scouts even outside of Atlanta. Obviously, people in Atlanta are excited about him because, hey, they're signing him and committing to him. But he's the Miles Robinson replacement. He's going to be the new defensive anchor. We'll see exactly how that fits, like next to Abram, or whether it's going to be, Derek Williams gets more minutes. He was selected in the re-entry draft. They still haven't announced something for him. But again, I'm expecting that to just be a formality. Elsewhere this winter, they have a few outgoings. Like, obviously, Miles Robinson is out, and he's in Cincinnati. U22 initiative central midfielders Franco Ibarra and Santiago Sosa are both being loaned away. I believe Ibarra has been announced by Rosario. Santi Sosa hasn't been announced yet, but those two things are happening. Ozzy Alonso retired. In comes veteran Dax McCarty to kind of fill that role and soak up some minutes. So Atlanta continued to evolve this roster. It is in a much, much better spot than it was at this time last year. Giacomakis is an elite number 9. He should be viewed as among some of the Golden Boot favorites. Again, maybe the non-Messi category, but we'll see. He's going to be a goal scorer. Everywhere he goes, he scores goals. And in this team, he's going to get chances and score goals. Thiago Almada is obviously an apex killer in this league. If he stays the whole season, he's an MVP candidate again. Not expecting him to stay the whole season. I'm certain that Atlanta have targets ready to go for Thiago Almada, and they can do a senior DP if they want, which is more along the lines of what Garth Lagerwey has done in the past, like with Raul Ruidiaz, Nico Ladero, and like in Seattle. I'd expect them to use it on a senior DP number 10 if/when Thiago Almada goes. But again, as I've said about 100 times, they're not pushing him out the door. They want to keep him as long as they can. Their other key addition this winter was American goalkeeper Josh Cohen. I was surprised it took this long. They were interested in him 18 months ago, like the summer of 22. They were interested in him in the summer of 23, and I was very surprised that a deal didn't get done then. His representatives actually filed a complaint with the league that Atlanta weren't making a serious offer and just trying to hold on to his rights. Despite that, I was told that all sources kind of remained pretty polite and pretty like on good terms, even if they agreed to disagree on stuff. So they came back to the table this winter, and Josh Cohen has signed in Atlanta. I'm expecting him to be the starter over Brad Guzan, or at least have a really good chance to compete for it. I'm not sure that anything settled there between Guzan or Cohen, but look, like, I think he's betting on himself to come here and be the starter, whether it's immediately or not. We'll see. He was not only goalkeeper of the year 1 year in Israel, he was player of the year. And that's really rare for a top division for a goalkeeper to win player of the year. That's only happened in MLS once. My guy, Tony Miola, shout out Tony Miola, back in like 2002, I believe, with Kansas City. So yeah, like that speaks to his quality. I'm very excited to see him in this league. Outside of that, after Atlanta finalized a deal for number 6, which again looks like it's going to be Bartosz Slisz. I've already forgotten how to pronounce that name. This roster is going to be pretty set. Like, again, like when Gregersen is announced, when Williams is announced, maybe they could use another center back, but like the needs are all filled. Like going into the summer last year, they had a bunch of needs. Obviously going into the winter last year when Garth Lagerwey took over as club president, there was a bunch of needs. Like right now, like there isn't much glaring. This roster fits really well together. There's depth at a lot of places. Lobojanic can play as a 10 if and when Almada is unavailable, which if he's still on the team when the Olympics happen, he'll be on for then. And you just kind of go on down the list, like Caleb Wiley, like this is the best spot for him. That's part of why he hasn't pushed to leave, because this is a really good spot for him, and he knows he'll start all these games in a good setup and a good system. Brooks Lennon, I know that he gets criticized for his kind of defensive ability. I love him going forward. He's one of the best attacking fullbacks in the league. So if you have the structure around, particularly with a double pivot in the midfield of Slisz and Muyumba, that can help cover up a lot for the right back or the right wing back to let Lennon get forward and still have defensive cover. So I'm very excited to see how this team looks all together when it comes together. Like, again, they have a lot of top end talent, but now they have a lot of, I guess, like good value within the squad. Like, again, Muyumba, Gregersen, Wiley, like Slisz, like all these guys not on DP deals, I think is very useful. And there's a lot of profiles here that make a lot of sense, like for MLS teams. And again, Garth Lagerwey has earned the benefit of the doubt. I know that it's not a one-man show in this kind of sporting structure. He has to do business stuff as well. So Carlos Bocanegra is still kind of leading the sporting structure in and of itself. But look, there's been a lot of good decisions by Atlanta since Garth Lagerwey joined the club, and that's not a coincidence. And again, he's literally, if not the best general manager CSO in league history, he's easily one of the top 3 ever. Like, again, like he's elite at this job, so he's going to get the benefit of the doubt from me and a bunch of other people, I think, correctly and well earned moving forward. But yeah, so Atlanta United, they're going to be one of the teams that I'm looking forward to watching how the rest of this offseason plays out, how they look in preseason and get started in the year, because there's so much talent here and there's so much opportunity. And again, if and when Thiago Almada leaves, that'll be for a very, very big fee. And then I think that they're going to reinvest a lot of that into a new player. Again, that's not a surprise. They're not going to be caught off guard whenever Almada does leave. They want to keep him as long as they can. But I'm certain that they have a short list of targets ready to go after that. So we will see. All right, on that note, that was another deep dive into kind of the Atlanta United's offseason. A couple that might make sense in the future. LA Galaxy, SC Cincinnati. You guys tell me what you want, because I think that there's a lot of, I guess, news and juice around those teams. Again, I'm like a piano bar here. Keep commenting. Tell me why. I'm reading all the comments as best I can. I'm trying to not set the precedence where I should be responding to every single one, because that would be a little bit weird if you saw me responding to every single comment. But hey, I'm terminally online. It is what it is. So just rest assured that I do see all of those, and keep me posted for what you want. The other thing that might come, like rules breakdown, MLS 101 kind of for dummies, is what somebody was asking me for. I'm glad to do that at some point. We shall see. Maybe a free agency update coming soon. But hey, stay tuned. We'll see what comes.